Hey YouTube, good evening. It's Kevin here from Candy Banana Balls. How are you guys doing tonight? Wanted to do this video about rats in general. I raise ASF rats, but I also have a small colony of your domestic, or what you call fancy rats, that you feed your ball pythons. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about is you see a lot about the ASF rats, how they are a smaller package, but yet they still have so much protein, and how your ball python's colors are better and the growth rate's better when you use ASF rats. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I think that is and what you could even do if you don't use ASFs or ASFs are not available in your area. Basically, I believe it has a lot to do with their diet. And I just want to say hello here, this little guy, or actually little girl. Basically, ASF rats require a higher protein, low fat diet to breed well. So whenever you're doing that, you have a lot more nutrients going into your animal. They're being fed high protein, low fat. You will see a lot of breeders using vegetables and fruits with them. You'll see mealworms being used as supplement, high protein. What is happening, I believe, is when you're feeding those ASF rats, you're passing on to your ball pythons a lot more nutrients and vitamins than you're getting from, like, say, farm-raised fancy rats. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of the pet stores and or high-volume rat breeders are using a very basic food, like, say, even 6F or maybe just a regular dog food. These rats will breed just fine on just about anything. You feed them dog food, give them water, and they breed. There's not a lot to them. But what you see, and you obviously probably can't see that in the camera, but you know, just the fur, the fluffy fur, the shiny coat, even the, you know, this is a small girl, but like, look at her size. She's just not a little skinny thing. You know, she's got meat on her bones. A lot of times when you're getting these, I've used, you know, the big dealers. You know, they're big animals, but they're not usually, I don't want to call them meaty, but, you know, muscular. They're not, they just seem skinny and not fed well, if that makes sense. So when you're taking these fancy rats, and that's what I've been doing, I give them the same diet as I give my ASF rats. So these guys are getting a variety of, like, Missouri rat and mouse diet, which is like a 23%, and I think it's like 8% fat. I use a high quality cat food that's like right around 40% and like 9% fat in a mix. I use black sunflower seeds in a mix. Mealworms, superworms, I use those. I use a koi food that I mix in. It's like 50% protein and like 5% fat. There is, I'm trying to think what else is in there. You know, a variety of high protein foods with different types of vitamins. You know, you get different things with, like, say, the cat's food, the rat food. The koi food has its own, you know, a little bit of extra different vitamins that you don't normally see. And then I do give fruits and vegetables a couple times a week. So these animals are now seeing a variety of different vitamins in their diet. So when they're growing and they're having babies, and that milk from the mother's going to the baby, there's different nutrients that typically aren't in, like, a farm bred or, you know, cheap pet store type bred feeder. And I see a difference, you know, and maybe I'm crazy, but I see a difference in the ball python's growth and the colors. And when I started switching some of them to ASFs and feeding ASFs, within a month or two, I could see a difference in just the colors of the, you know, brighter colors, more vibrant colors. I felt that, you know, from just a farm bred, you know, frozen thawed or pet store rodent, month to month, they were growing. There was nothing wrong with them, but I see better growth, healthier growth from these animals that are now being fed high quality foods. So I guess the point to my ramble is this. If you don't have ASF rats in your area, or you don't want to be, part of that where your snake is stuck on ASFs, and some people will actually kind of devalue them because there's not ASFs available in their area to feed, or they don't want something that won't take other rodents. You can feed your rats, and I would assume even your mice, a lot healthier diet and see differences in your animals. And just like that, if you have the opportunity to breed your own feeder rodents, try it and see. I think you're going to be surprised at what just a little bit different diet with your rodent. Within a few months, you're going to see your snakes are growing better. Their colors are more vibrant. Um, just healthier all around. And just like anything, you are what you eat. So whenever you are feeding them, a lot higher quality food, a lot more vitamins. I mean, there's really no supplements, so to speak, for ball pythons and a lot of other animals. The reptiles, you can do different kinds of vitamin supplements, and they're readily available. And so, why wouldn't your snake benefit from better vitamins, better protein, better overall nutrients? Of course it will. So the only way to get it into your snake is through the rodent you're feeding it. So definitely, try it and see what you think. I think you're going to be very surprised, and it's not that much more cost. I mean, typically you can take leftover food scraps from when you're making things for the fruits and vegetables. You can buy, fruits and vegetables, farm markets and stuff for next to nothing. Friends with gardens, that kind of thing. You'll be surprised for the low cost involved in upgrading their food to, a high quality, high protein, low fat diet, full of nutrients. It's not going to cost you much more, and the results are going to be well worth it. So, any of you rat breeders, fancy rat breeders, any of you people that know your breeder well, that you're buying from, talk to them. Hey, if they're selling you at whatever, say, hey, I'd like to, have a little bit healthier rodent that I'm feeding my animal. Would you consider upping their food? And, I'd be willing to pay you another dollar or two for, what you're selling me. Whatever that case may be that you can work out with them. I'm telling you, you will see a difference. It is a visible, changing difference whenever you switch to higher quality foods with your rodents. They are just healthier, and they're passing that on to your animal. So give it a try. I think you'll be impressed. So thanks again for listening. Kevin here, Candy Banana Balls. Let's learn together. Subscribe, sign up. Let's go on this journey together and have a great time. Thanks again, guys.